Remember when your house actually worked for you instead of the other way around? When homes had secret passages, hidden compartments, and features so clever they'd make modern smart homes look stupid? If you grew up in Canada between the 60s and 80s, you lived in houses that were built by people who actually understood how Canadians lived. Not architects trying to win design awards, but builders who knew you needed somewhere to hang wet winter coats, store root vegetables through February, and get milk delivered without opening your door to -30 weather. These weren't just quirky old house things. They were brilliant solutions to real Canadian problems. And we've ripped out almost every single one of them in the name of modernization. But here's what nobody talks about. Most of these features worked better than what replaced them. They saved energy, saved time, and made daily life easier in ways we didn't appreciate until they were gone. I've spent the past 3 weeks talking to heritage home experts, digging through old blueprints, and touring houses across Canada that still have these features intact. What I discovered will make you wish you could time travel back to when homes were actually designed for living, not just looking good on Instagram. So settle in, because we're about to explore 15 genius Canadian home features that have completely disappeared. And I guarantee at least 5 of these will trigger memories you forgot you had. Feature 1. The Milk Chute. Let's start with something that defined Canadian mornings for generations, the milk chute. This wasn't just a little door in your wall. This was an insulated metal compartment built right into your exterior wall, usually near the kitchen. The milkman would open the outside door before dawn, slide in glass bottles of milk, and close it up. You'd open the inside door, grab your milk, and never expose your kitchen to the cold. Brilliant, right? But it gets better. The chute was designed with Canadian winters in mind. Double doors with an air gap between them, metal construction that rats couldn't chew through, and positioned on the north side of the house where the sun wouldn't warm it up. In winter, that chute was basically a natural refrigerator. You'd hear the clink of bottles around 6 in the morning. That sound meant fresh milk, cream with an inch of fat on top, and sometimes chocolate milk as a weekend treat. Your mom would leave empty bottles in the chute with notes tucked inside. 2 extra tomorrow, please. Or 1 cream, 2 milk. The milkman knew every house on his route. He'd notice if bottles weren't collected and check on elderly neighbors. It was delivery service and community watch rolled into one. When milk chutes disappeared in the 70s and 80s, we lost more than convenience. We lost that daily connection, that rhythm of someone quietly taking care of us while we slept. Feature 2. The coal or wood chute. Speaking of clever delivery systems, let's talk about the coal chute, something every older Canadian home had before natural gas took over. Picture a metal door set into your foundation, usually at the back of the house. The coal truck would back up, attach a chute, and send coal tumbling directly into your basement coal room. No hauling bags through your house, no tracking black dust through the kitchen. The coal room itself was genius. Concrete walls and floor, a small window for ventilation, and a door that sealed tight to keep dust contained. You'd shovel coal from the pile into a bucket, carry it to the furnace, and that's how you heated your house through prairie winters or maritime storms. Wood chutes worked the same way. The cordwood would slide down into a dedicated storage area, stacked and ready for your wood furnace or fireplace. Here's what made this brilliant. Everything stayed outside until the moment you needed it. No snow, no ice, no frozen fingers trying to carry wood from a shed in a blizzard. The chute brought winter fuel right into your basement, protected and accessible. Most coal chutes were sealed up in the 60s and 70s when oil and gas furnaces took over. Some got converted to basement window wells. Others were just bricked over and forgotten. But if you've ever struggled to haul firewood through your house for your decorative fireplace, you understand what we lost. Feature 3. Seasonal storm windows and screen doors. Now this is going to hit different for anyone who remembers the twice-yearly ritual of changing the windows. Every Canadian home had 2 sets of windows, screens for summer, storm windows for winter, and twice a year, usually in April and October, The whole family would spend a Saturday swapping them out. Your dad would haul the wooden-framed storm windows down from the garage rafters where they had been stored. You'd help carry them, trying not to drop them because glass was expensive, and your dad would be mad. One by one, you'd remove the screens, install the storms, and seal the edges with rope caulking. This wasn't just busy work. Those storm windows created a dead air space that actually insulated your house. Combined with the original single-pane windows, you essentially had double-pane insulation. Your heating bill dropped noticeably once the storms were up. The screen doors were the same deal. Heavy wooden frames with screen mesh, they'd go up in May and come down in September. You'd oil the hinges, fix any tears in the screen, and make sure the spring closer was adjusted so the door didn't slam. That screen door slam? That was the sound of summer. Kids running in and out, the door bouncing shut behind them, your mom yelling, "Don't let the flies in." Modern vinyl windows with built-in screens are more convenient, sure. But they don't insulate as well as those old storm windows did, and they definitely don't sound like summer. Feature 4. Dumbwaiters. Here's one that sounds fancy, but was actually practical as hell: the dumbwaiter. This was a small elevator built into the wall, running from the basement up through the kitchen and sometimes to the second floor. A rope and pulley system let you haul heavy stuff between floors without carrying it on the stairs. In Canadian homes, dumbwaiters were workhorses. You'd load laundry in the basement, pull the rope, and send it up to the main floor. Groceries went from the kitchen down to the cold storage in the basement. Firewood came up from the basement to the living room. The really clever homes had dumbwaiters that opened on multiple floors. You could send breakfast up to someone sick in bed, or lower dinner dishes down to the kitchen from the dining room. These weren't just in mansions either. Middle-class homes in Toronto, Montreal, and Winnipeg had them. Builders understood that Canadian homes had multiple levels and that hauling stuff up and down stairs was exhausting. Most dumbwaiters were sealed up or removed during renovations. The shaft space was valuable, and modern families didn't have the same needs. But anyone who's ever carried a laundry basket up 2 flights of stairs understands what we gave up. Feature 5. Laundry chutes. While we're talking about moving stuff between floors, let's discuss one of the greatest inventions in home design: the laundry chute. A hole in the bathroom floor or wall, usually with a metal door, that dropped straight down to the basement laundry room. You'd toss your dirty clothes in, hear them whoosh down, and that was it. No carrying hampers, no trips up and down stairs. The chute usually opened near the washing machine, sometimes into a built-in hamper. Monday morning, your mom would have a pile of laundry waiting, sorted by whoever did the tossing, or all mixed together if your family wasn't that organized. Kids loved laundry chutes. You'd drop things down just to hear them land. Toys, balls, occasionally a younger sibling's stuffed animal as a prank. The sound of something tumbling down the chute was oddly satisfying. The chutes were built with fire safety in mind too. Metal construction, fire-rated doors, and positioned away from bedrooms. They were actually safer than most people realized. Modern homes don't have them because building codes got stricter and because laundry rooms moved upstairs. But anyone who's ever carried a week's worth of laundry down basement stairs knows we lost something valuable. Feature 6. Root cellars. Now we're getting into serious Canadian ingenuity: the root cellar. This was a room in your basement, usually in the corner, with specific features. Dirt floor or concrete, vented to the outside, unheated, and dark. The temperature stayed just above freezing all winter, perfect for storing vegetables, preserves, and anything else that needed to stay cold but not frozen. Your mom would stock the root cellar in fall: bushels of potatoes, carrots and sand, onions hanging in mesh bags, apples wrapped in newspaper. Mason jars of preserves lined wooden shelves, pickles, jams, tomatoes, everything your family had canned during harvest. That root cellar meant you ate through winter without relying entirely on the grocery store. A bag of potatoes from the cellar, some carrots, an onion, and you had the base for dinner. The preserves added variety when fresh produce was expensive or unavailable. The smell of a root cellar was distinct. Earth, vegetables, the faint sweetness of apples. Walking down there with a flashlight to grab potatoes for dinner was part of the routine. Modern basements are heated and finished. We have refrigerators and freezers, but we've also lost the ability to store food naturally without electricity, using nothing but Canadian winter temperatures and smart design. Feature 7. Telephone nooks. Remember when phones were furniture? When calling someone meant sitting down because you might be there a while? The telephone nook was built right into the wall, usually in the hallway or kitchen. A small bench seat, a shelf at the perfect height for the phone, sometimes a little cabinet underneath for phone books. The whole thing was designed around the fact that phones had cords and conversations took time. You'd sit on that bench, phone cord stretched across your lap, and talk for an hour. The nook gave you a dedicated spot, semi-private, but still part of the house. You could watch the hallway, keep an eye on kids, but have your conversation. The shelf usually had a notepad and pen attached with string. You'd write down messages, phone numbers, directions. Call Dr. Morrison Tuesday at 2, or Dave called, wants you to call back. Some nooks had built-in address book holders, little slots for storing important numbers. Others had corkboards for pinning notes and reminders. When cordless phones arrived in the 80s, telephone nooks became obsolete overnight. Why sit in the hallway when you could walk around? The nooks got drywalled over or converted to decorative shelving, but there was something nice about having a dedicated phone spot. You knew where to find people, you knew where to leave messages. The phone nook organized communication in a way our scattered modern devices never do. Feature 8. Permanent clotheslines in basements. Every Canadian basement had them, permanent clotheslines strung from wall to wall, usually near the furnace where it was warmest. These weren't temporary lines you put up and took down. They were heavy-duty wire or rope, permanently mounted with eye hooks screwed into floor joists. Some basements had multiple lines running parallel, creating a whole drying area. Winter laundry went down there. You couldn't hang clothes outside in January, so the basement became your dryer. Sheets, towels, work clothes, everything hung on those lines. The furnace heat would dry them overnight, and by morning, they'd be ready to fold. The system worked perfectly. Free drying, no electricity, and the moisture from the clothes actually helped humidify your dry winter air. Your basement might look like a laundromat, but your heating bill stayed reasonable. Some families kept the lines up year-round. Why use the dryer in summer when you could hang clothes in the basement and save money? The lines were always there, always ready. Modern basements are finished living spaces. We have electric dryers, but we're also paying for electricity and dealing with dry winter air that requires humidifiers. Those permanent clotheslines solved both problems at once. Feature 9. The formal parlor. Here's one that defined how Canadian families lived. The formal parlor, or sitting room. This was the room at the front of the house, usually with the best furniture, that nobody used except for special occasions. Company coming over? Parlor. Christmas dinner? Parlor. Minister visiting? Definitely the parlor. The rest of the time, that room sat empty. Furniture covered with sheets, drapes drawn to protect the carpet from sun, door closed. Your family lived in the kitchen, the den, the TV room. But the parlor waited, pristine and ready. This wasn't about showing off. It was about having a space that stayed nice, that represented your family at its best. You couldn't entertain guests in the kitchen where breakfast dishes might still be in the sink. The parlor was your public face. The furniture was always nicer. The good couch, the matching chairs, the coffee table that didn't have scratches. Your mom's good china was displayed in the cabinet. Family photos in proper frames lined the mantel. Kids knew the rules. Don't play in the parlor, don't eat in the parlor, don't even walk through the parlor unless necessary. Open concept homes killed the formal parlor. Modern families want spaces they actually use. But there was something valuable about having a room that stayed nice, that was ready for important moments without scrambling to clean up. Feature 10. Gravity-fed furnaces. Now we're getting into the mechanical genius of old Canadian homes, the gravity-fed furnace, also called an octopus furnace. This beast sat in your basement, a massive cast-iron monster with ducts spreading out like tentacles. It burned coal or oil, and the heat rose naturally through those ducts to registers in every room. No fans, no electricity, just physics. The system was brilliant in its simplicity. Hot air rises, cold air falls. The furnace heated air, which rose through the ducts. As rooms cooled, cold air fell back down through return ducts to be reheated. The cycle continued automatically, powered by nothing but temperature differences. Those old registers were huge, sometimes 2 feet across with decorative cast-iron grates. You'd stand over them on cold mornings, letting warm air blow up your pajamas. Every Canadian kid did this. The furnace room was always warm, even in the coldest winter. Some families would hang laundry down there or use it as a workshop space. The heat was constant and free once the furnace was running. Modern forced air furnaces are more efficient and easier to control, but they require electricity and fans. When the power went out, your modern furnace stopped. Those old gravity furnaces, they kept running, kept you warm, because they didn't need power. Feature 11. Transom Windows. Here's a feature most people never noticed, but that made old houses work. Transom windows above interior doors. These were small windows, usually rectangular, hinged at the top so they could open inward. They sat above bedroom doors, bathroom doors, any interior door in the house. The purpose was ventilation and heat distribution. In summer, you'd open the transoms to let air circulate between rooms. In winter, heat from the furnace could flow through the house even with bedroom doors closed. This was crucial in houses with gravity furnaces. The heat needed to circulate naturally, and transom windows made that possible. You could have privacy with your door closed, but still get heat and fresh air. Some transoms were decorative, with frosted or stained glass. Others were plain, but they all served the same function, making the house breathe. Modern homes have forced air systems that blow heat into every room, so transoms became unnecessary. Most were sealed over during renovations, but they were elegant solutions to real problems, and they added character that modern homes lack. Feature 12. Servant staircases. Even middle-class Canadian homes sometimes had them. The back staircase, narrow and steep, running from the kitchen to the upstairs bedrooms. These weren't about having servants, despite the name. They were about function. The front staircase was for guests and formal occasions. The back staircase was for daily life. Kids would thunder down the back stairs for breakfast, tracking less dirt through the house. Your mom would use them to go up and down doing laundry without walking through the living room. They were the working stairs, the ones that got used constantly. The back stairs were usually steeper and narrower than the front stairs, tucked into whatever space was available. They often had a door at the bottom, keeping kitchen noise and smells from traveling upstairs. Some houses had the back stairs continuing down to the basement, creating a direct route from bedrooms to laundry room without going through main living areas. Modern homes rarely have 2 staircases. Space is too valuable. But those back stairs made daily life easier, keeping the mess and chaos of family life separate from the public spaces. Feature 13. Built-in ironing boards. This one was pure genius. An ironing board that folded out from the wall, usually in the kitchen or hallway. A cabinet door would open, and the ironing board would fold down, supported by a hinged leg. The iron stored in the cabinet above, along with spray starch and whatever else you needed. When you were done, everything folded back up and disappeared. This saved massive amounts of space. No dragging out a full-size ironing board, no finding somewhere to store it. The built-in was always there, always ready, and took up 0 floor space when not in use. Your mom would iron while watching TV or keeping an eye on dinner. The board was at the perfect height, sturdy, and positioned near an outlet. Some even had built-in electrical outlets in the cabinet. When permanent press fabrics arrived in the 70s and 80s, ironing became less necessary. The built-in boards got sealed over or removed. But anyone who still irons knows how convenient they were. Feature 14. coal ash incinerators. Before garbage collection became universal, many Canadian homes had built-in incinerators, usually in the basement near the furnace. This was a metal chamber with a door connected to the chimney. You'd burn household garbage, paper, and other combustibles. The ash would fall into a collection pan that you'd empty periodically. It sounds crazy now, but it made sense then. Garbage collection was irregular or non-existent in many areas. Burning trash reduced volume and eliminated smells. The incinerator used the existing chimney, so installation was straightforward. Some incinerators were elaborate, with multiple chambers and air controls. Others were simple metal boxes, but they all served the same purpose, dealing with household waste without relying on municipal services. Environmental concerns and improved garbage collection ended the incinerator era. Most were sealed up or removed, but they represented self-sufficiency, the ability to manage your household without depending on outside services. Feature 15, the Vancouver Special. Let's end with something uniquely Canadian, the Vancouver Special, a house style that defined working-class neighborhoods from the 60s through the 80s. These boxy two-story houses were everywhere in Vancouver, Burnaby, and Richmond. Flat roof or low-pitched roof, brick or stucco on the first floor, horizontal siding on the second, and a balcony across the front that nobody ever used. They looked identical, and people mocked them relentlessly. But here's what made them genius. They were designed for multi-generational living and rental income. The main floor had a full suite: kitchen, living room, bedrooms, bathroom. The upstairs had another complete suite. Families could live upstairs and rent the main floor, or parents could live downstairs while adult children lived upstairs. The layout maximized space on small lots. The flat roof meant full ceiling height on the second floor. The balcony, though rarely used, added outdoor space and made the house look larger. Vancouver Specials housed immigrant families, working-class Canadians, and anyone who needed affordable housing with rental income potential. They weren't pretty, but they worked. Now they're being torn down and replaced with luxury homes. But the Vancouver Special represented practical, affordable housing designed for how real Canadian families actually lived. There you have it, 15 brilliant home features that Canadian builders understood and modern construction has completely forgotten. These weren't just old-fashioned quirks. They were solutions to real problems: how to stay warm in winter, how to store food without electricity, how to make daily chores easier, how to house multiple generations affordably. We've replaced them with technology and convenience, and in many ways, that's progress. But we've also lost something valuable: homes that worked with Canadian life instead of against it, that used simple physics and smart design instead of electricity and complexity. The next time you're carrying laundry upstairs or paying a massive heating bill, remember that your grandparents' house probably had a better solution. It just wasn't as pretty. So here's my question. Which of these features did your childhood home have? And which one do you wish your current house had? Drop your memories in the comments. I want to hear about milk chutes, laundry chutes, and those formal parlors that nobody was allowed to use. And if this trip through Canadian home history hits you with nostalgia, smash that like button and subscribe, because next week we're diving into the rise and fall of Canadian tire money and why it was better than actual currency. But before you go, click this video right here where I break down the complete history of hockey night in Canada and why Saturday nights will never feel the same. Trust me, if these home features got you nostalgic, that one's going to hit even harder. Thanks for watching, and remember, the old ways weren't always worse. Sometimes they were just smarter than we gave them credit for.